Hey everyone, I'm Curtis,
And I'm Shank.
and you're listening to the Good Buds Podcast.
Let's cast away.
Welcome to the Good Buds Podcast, the show where good buds smoke good buds and talk about them. This is episode 14, airing Monday, November 16th, 2020, on Spotify, YouTube, Anchor, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, and many more. Thanks for joining us.
Today's episode is brought to you by that one fucking hilarious He-Man meme where he's singing "Hey, what's going on?" with trippy visuals in the background. That video will never not make me laugh. Link below in the description.
I also step outside and get real high. So Shank, how are you doing today?
Oh man, I'm doing fantastic today. I had a beautiful day working on some stuff for the Good Buds Ghostcast and working on some stuff for the Instagram and the YouTube pages. Just having a fantastic time, man. Links below in the description. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. It's weird because my dating life isn't exactly that great, so I've kind of reached this point where I figured if I go after a very specific thing, then I might have a better chance.
Well,
So
that's true. If you narrow your field of focus, you'll go after what you want, right?
exactly. So I've limited myself down to this website where you meet chess players from Prague.
That's a that's very specific. That's very specific.
Exactly. It's kind of a little niche, but the name of the website is Checkmate. Anyway, be sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you like what we're doing, check out our Patreon page. We have 6 tiers available, including bonus content and access to our Discord channel.
He is absolutely right, and we would love if you would stop by our page and consider donating to the show. Now, let's get into the review.
Good Buds Review, Good Buds.
So, Curtis, what are you burning today, man?
Well, Shank, today I am burning on some Pineapple Wreck, or Pineapple Train Wreck, depending on how you want to call it. This is
Yeah,
grown...
whoever you're talking to.
Exactly. This is grown by Dubers right here in Detroit, and this is a potent crossbreed of Pineapple Express and Trainwreck. Now, the nugs on here are a very nice, light and fluffy nug. They're trimmed well, but they do have a couple of these sugar leaves on them. A couple leaves that have been kept on. Kind of increases the CBD, but they are so coated with crystals that there's really no reason to take them off. Kind of balances
Yeah, and
itself
and,
out.
and yeah, the flavor they add a little bit to the flavor profile as well, I bet, and
Exactly.
I'm interested to hear about that.
We'll get to it. But like I was saying, it's very crystallized on these leaves, and it's very crystallized all throughout the nug. Kind of sticky to the fingers. It's a very mainly pear green, almost chartreuse colored bud. But it has these nice little speckles of these darker green, almost basil colored green specks on there that just
Nice.
kind of push through. And it also has a good amount of darker orange hairs on there. Kind of just peek out a little bit, but it's still prevalent in there for sure. In terms of the scent, and just as you were expecting, it is a very strong earthy scent, very grassy and very herbal, but it also has this low scent of mint to it almost, and it has a umami background as well. And oddly enough, all of that combines, and it reminds me of gummy worms, or gummy bears, or just like a gelatin-based gummy candy.
Yeah, I know what smell. I think I know what smell you're talking about. That like gelatiny kind of like artificially like kind of almost bitter smell.
Not bitter. It's actually sweet.
Not bitter. Not bitter's a hard word. It's like
No.
yeah, it's sweet.
It's, yeah. I'd say bittersweet at that, if we were
Yeah.
combining the two.
Yeah.
Which makes
Yeah.
sense. But all in all, very good weed, very nice, and I would love to I would love to smoke that in a little bit. But first off, Shank, what's the strain you are sharing with us today?
Today I am going to be burning some Sweet Island Skunk. It's a very strong sativa. Now it's grown. This one was grown by San Rafael here in Canada, but this strain is available all over the place. These ones are tight little crocodile green nugs with little flecks of like olive green kind of sprinkled throughout it. When I say tight, I do mean they are very tight, dense nugs. They have a really slight coating of red hair on the outside. Nothing particularly, eye-catching. It's small spattering here and there. And a little bit of a dusting of crystal. If I'm gonna be frank about it, it's not really anything fancy to look at. Like when you look at the nugs, aside from the fact that they're very dense, they're not really, anything to look at. They are very firm and very snappy, which is always nice.
Oh yeah.
But as for the smell is where these things really kick it up a notch, though. It's a tropical fruit and skunk had a baby and then rolled around in a little bit of pepper. It's kind of like it's a strange visual. Now that I'm saying it out loud, I don't regret a single thing about what I just said. But it's a really like distinct, beautiful smell for such an unassuming nug. You would look at the nug and you'd be like, "Yeah, it's okay," but then you smell it and you're like, "My goodness, this is fantastic!" Right?
Right.
And it's I love weed like that. That you kind of look at it and you're like, "Yeah, whatever," and then you smell it and it's amazing. But it's got very fresh, very, very tropical vibes. And also, I cannot wait to smoke this too. But before we do get to smoking it, I got to remind the folks listening to this at home that they can check down below in the description and see pictures of these nugs on our Instagram as well as on our other social medias. And while they're there, they should like, comment, subscribe, do whatever they really feel like doing while they're there.
Of course. We're on, like we said before, we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Reddit. Instagram and Reddit are where we're going to be having most of our pictures of the nugs, but we also got some memes and some other funny content, so check us out. But,
big truth.
But with that being said, I have a bong packed right here, Shank. Do you got a bong packed over there?
You know I do, my friend.
And with that being the case, lighters out, bros. Tokes kaboke. Let's burn some.
Burn it. Ooh. Yeah, buddy. Oh man, Curtis, how's that treating you, brother?
So, I'm getting this nice, sweet, and smooth hit. It's a relaxing floral taste with a very earthy backtone, obviously with the scent. Earthiness was coming through. Now, the weird part about it, it flows into a very unexpected citrus flavor. Like a citrus scent that I really couldn't smell. Whew. And it has this nice effect where it just rolls down the throat. Like it doesn't really pop up and hit the brain like most of the strains I usually hit do. This one just calmly rolls down the throat into the lungs, fills it up, and I have a feeling that this is going to be a nice little uplifting and euphoric high. But with that being said, I'm going to take another hit. Shank, how's that Sweet Island Skunk tasting for you?
Well, Sweet Skunk is absolutely the best description that could possibly be given for this strain because that's exactly what hits you. The sweet and the skunky notes hit you right off the forefront. Very tropical mango and pineapple flavors, with that like background of skunk just laying it on thick. It's bold, like a very bold hit, but not overwhelming. I feel like I probably couldn't take an 18-liter gravity bong of this, but I could definitely take a nice, good bong hit of it. And it does go directly to my head, straight to the head rush. But it does give me that uplifted feel. Like when it hit my head, it kind of wanted to carry me up with it. So honestly, I think that hopefully it's going to treat me really well. We can do what we usually do though, and we can check and see what the reviews say online about these and see what other people say about how it made them feel.
That's absolutely correct. And like we always say, these are the opinions of other stoners online, and we will be adding our opinions to the onlines.
Opinions.
So Pineapple Wreck has a very happy, euphoric, and uplifting effect. It has a nice clear-headed effect, which comes from the Pineapple Express parent strain. And it also has some good stress, pain relief, and other, good qualities like that from the Trainwreck, the other parent strain that comes from. The only downside I've been able to find is a little bit of dry mouth and a little bit of dry eyes follow, but as always, I always got bevs, and yeah, I blink a lot, so shouldn't be too much of a problem. Shank, what is it saying about your Sweet Island Skunk?
Well, the Sweet Island Skunk, man, is actually, it's funny. They're saying very similar things here. It's got a very happy, uplifting, euphoric, energetic, and creative high, which is always fantastic. I love smoking those kind of strains for the podcast because I feel like it makes it a hell of a lot more interesting for me and the people listening. But because it is a high CBD strain, it's also really good for stress, depression, pain, and fatigue, which, once again, check, 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 and check. So that's magnificent. Big fan of those features that people are describing. So I'm hoping that I get every single one of them. But just like yours, the side effects do include dry mouth and dry eyes. So also, I blink very frequently, and I've always got Bevy nearby because we always tell you guys and tell each other and tell ourselves to be prepared.
Of course,
Good
of
stoner
course.
always make sure they got their supplies in order.
Yep. Which, God damn it, why the fuck do you guys say that? Because I don't know where our joints are.
Oh, dude, don't worry about it, man. I got this covered. Hold on, just let me eat this French fry real quick. And
Wait, why the fuck are you eating a What? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That happened.
Yeah, no, I trained it, man.
Fucking rats with wings. Oh well, they're good for something. So,
Yeah, I know, right?
so we got our joints here now. And as always, bros, it's 4:20 somewhere. Lighter's out. Let's burn some.
Litters out.
Blaze it.
That tastes good. Whoa, the flavor's way more mellow.
My flavor got
Oh,
a
that
little bit
mellows
more
it, right?
harsh. I mean, it's
Oh,
not
that's
like,
yeah,
it's not like so harsh you can't hit it, but it's like
interesting. Yeah, like it sharpened it up a little bit.
a little bit, yeah. I'm liking
Yeah,
it.
mine had the opposite effect, man. I mean, I'm liking it too. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it took it and it was very punchy before and very bold, and now it's like kind of like it went from being like Mountain Dew to being Mountain Dew Code Red.
Oh yeah. I don't know. It might also be the fact of the paper I'm using. Again, I'm using
Yeah.
the absinthe flavored paper. I figured it would go nice
Oh,
with
yeah.
the earthy flavor, and it definitely does. Adds a nice lime
Well, yeah, and
effect
the
to
sweetness.
it. The
I was gonna say the
sweetness.
sweetness. Yeah, nail it with that. See, I'm burning out of I'm back to the traditional OCBs as usual. The nice
Nice.
you know,
The classics.
over a century old company classics, man. They work beautifully, and they just let me have a good profile of the weed, the flavor, because I find that the paper themselves are borderline flavorless.
Right.
So it's yeah, so it's great, man. I'm absolutely loving this weed. Once again, I'm smoking the Sweet Island Skunk. Um, for the people listening at home, and if you're just tuning in now, Curtis is smoking.
Some pineapple wreck. Very nice sativa
is
dominant hybrid.
Yeah, and for any of you folks who have ever seen the movie Pineapple Express, one of the two parents of his strain is the titular strain from that movie. So
Exactly.
that's pretty exciting. And that was a fucking great movie, man. Like, you know, like, I mean, people can say what they want about, like, the ridiculousness of, like, James Franco and Seth Rogen's movies and shit like that, but that movie was, like, it was interesting, and it did something that, like, a lot of, like, idiot stoner movies didn't do, which was be self-aware.
I mean, it definitely wasn't the thing that launched Seth Rogen's career, but it definitely helped make him and James Franco household names. Was that movie?
Oh my god, yes. Yes, well, I mean, that's exactly it. Like, what it did is it
Plus-
basically made it so that any movie that they appeared in was something that people were going to be willing to go watch.
Not to mention them making that movie kind of propelled them. Because I can't remember. Did they make Pineapple Express first or Superbad first?
Uh,
Here, I'll
I
Google
want
it
to
real
say
quick.
I want to say super bad
I'll Google it real quick.
because I remember they were in Freaks and Geeks together, eh?
Yeah.
That was a fantastic show too. I was a big fan of that. And like, you know, it's like they just like together their comedy, like, I mean, and now granted I know both of them have had shit said about them in Hollywood, but I mean, frankly, like, honestly, if I got scrutinized as much as any like celebrity gets scrutinized, I can almost guarantee you that people would be like, man, the skeletons in his closet have skeletons in their closet.
Alright, so yeah, it was Superbad first, and then it was Pineapple Express by a year.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah, but that just kind of like blew up their like grouped career, like the two of them together doing comedies and shit like that. I mean,
Right.
like,
And I think that was one of the things, like, Superbad was able to launch them a little bit further because they made a movie they've wanted to make for a while, and that got them enough money where they could make Pineapple Express, a movie they just wanted to make.
well, yeah, when people realized how fucking hilarious they were when they wrote Superbad and made Superbad and shit, they were like, all right, give these guys money, tell them to make whatever they think is hilarious.
Right. So,
And I mean, dude, like, I mean, it's like they like, yeah, it's crazy, man. Their careers have been wild, and frankly, like people say all the time, like I would, and I might say that, you know, if I got scrutinized as much as celebrities did, that they would find skeletons in my skeletons closets, like, but basically, like, I don't even give a shit, man. Like, if they want to pay attention to me, I'm one of those people. I always have been since I was an early teen and stuff like that. And like I admit it's not the best personality trait necessarily, but I do enjoy people paying attention to me. I won't, you know, like force other people to lose, you know, attention if I can avoid it. But I love being on stage, you know, like being up on a stage performing is where I feel really comfortable. Like, you know, so like if I was a
just
celebrity and shit
love
like that,
me.
like, yeah, if I was a celebrity and like and I walked out of my house and there was like a bunch of fucking tabloid people there and everything like that, I'd be like, you know, get to know their names. I'd be like, you know, like, what's your name? Like, I'd get to know you and like greet them by name. Go out in the morning and be like, what's up, Bob? Hey, Jim, how you doing? Hey, Steve, you know, like, check it out. Like my outfit today, man. What do you think? You know, that kind of thing, right? And eventually, either they get sick of me because every time I'm not giving them controversy, I'm not like slamming the camera in their face. Like, you know, I'm just like, hey guys, how you doing? You know,
Or they
nice
come
to
by
meet you.
just to say, "Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
I know, right?
We're about to go
Yeah,
stalk
just pop
this.
out.
We're about to go stalk this celebrity." Fucking
Yeah, like,
just
oh
figured.
fuck yeah, I'd be like, guys, can I come with you? It'd be like, you're going to Jessica Alba's house. Like, you know, I know my buddy Curtis would love a signature from her. Like, can I go with you? Like, you know, I'll hold your camera and like you be on camera this time. Like, take a microphone and like do a story. Like, I'll film you, bro. Like, you know, I'm down. Like, I don't even give a shit. Like, I'll help you out. Like, but yeah, and I think it'd be great. But my favorite story about that, like paparazzi and like fucking with the paparazzi, is Daniel Radcliffe. And I'm sure, do you know that story?
I think so, but I'm not entirely sure.
All right. So basically, Daniel Radcliffe. I don't know whether it was an original idea or somebody gave him the idea or whatever, right? But when Harry Potter was like, well, I'd say when Harry Potter was huge. Harry Potter will always be huge. But when it was first blowing up and stuff like that,
Right.
what he did is he would wear a different shirt, you know, and like different underwear, like every day. But he wore the same hat, the same jacket, the same sunglasses, and like a variation of the same pair of blue jeans
Right.
every single day, everywhere he went. So no matter what, if people took pictures of him over the course of like, I think he did it for like months and months. Every day he went out in the exact same outfit, so that eventually any pictures that paparazzi took of him were useless.
Because they
Because
all looked
basically
like they were saved on the same
yeah.
day, and
They
you
all
can't
they
get.
all looked like they were, yep.
And at that point, you can't
They all-
really get timed evidence like, oh, it was on this day, it was on this date. No, he was wearing it
Yeah.
this day. No, he was wearing it this day. It was this day.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
wearing it every day. Yeah, they
Conflicting
can't, like, so
information.
there was like, yeah, so and not only that, but it's like it's just not exciting. Like it's like one of those things where they're like, if they take a picture, they're like, yeah, this could have been from the exact same day. You could have taken like 5,000 pictures that one day, and now you're just selling them back to me like one at a time over the course of like 8 months.
Right.
You know, and so it's like one of those things where nobody wanted them, nobody would buy them, so the pictures were fucking worthless. So the paparazzi stopped following him around.
Fucking
It's like
baller.
it's brilliant. It's brilliant. Like it was like I don't and like I said, I don't know if it was his idea originally or if he like you know, I'd have to look it up, but whether it was his idea originally or someone gave him that advice, that is fantastic advice. And not to mention, it's also why I like to wear a mask a lot. Because when I'm always wearing my mask and I'm always wearing like the same outfit on stage and shit like that, you know, like any picture from any show can be any picture from any show. So it's like, you know, like if I'm promoting or something like that, I can just be like, yeah, check out these pictures, and then like put like 10 pictures. They all look like they're from the same show, but it's actually like 10 badass moments from 13 different shows.
Well then.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, man. It's good. Like, and I enjoy it. And also, you probably the audience. I don't know if they've seen my mask actually. If they check out our Instagram, they'll be able to see my other face that I wear, but
It's also on our.
you know.
It's also in our YouTube video right now, right there in the
Oh,
corner.
it is, yeah. Oh yeah, look over there. Yeah, right over there.
Y-
It's like yeah. So and that's my other face, right? That's the face I wear over top of my green face that I've got that you guys get to see in this YouTube video. So
Well,
you guys are lucky.
well, no, you're not wearing it right now. It's in the corner, hanging up over there. Remember?
No. That's what I wear over the face when I'm not recording the podcast. The beautiful folks here get to see it. Like they get to see my actual face.
Confusion.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. Yeah, no, they get to see my actual green face. The shank hangs up in the corner. I only wear him when I'm not recording the podcast, so.
Anyhow.
Yeah, so it's pretty fucking sweet, man. Like, I know it's, but, like, yeah, Daniel Radcliffe, brilliant fucking move. Also, brilliant actor. That dude's grown into some really fucking strange roles. He's kind of taken the Shia LaBeouf route of, like, just taking whatever goddamn acting roles he wants to take that are, like, artsy and weird, and I admire him for it.
I admire that. I just hope he doesn't go the way of the super fucking activist route. I don't know. I kind of want to see Daniel
He
Radcliffe
can do whatever he wants.
I want to see.
That's the thing.
Fuck it.
And Daniel
wanna see
Radcliffe, that to be fair, he's already done some like radical kind of like activism kind of shit and stuff too, right? Like he's done some like pretty, like I mean, yeah, he's done some weird shit like Swiss Army Man, but he's also done some pretty like radical fucking like crazy shit, man. Like and like.
Well, I'm saying like
that's the thing.
I'm saying like the Shia LaBeouf standing outside of a thing saying he will not divide us for 9 hours straight.
Yeah,
type of
yeah,
thing.
that kind of art show is weird.
Or making
that kind of art show is weird.
Or making the Reddit hunt to find the Trump flag, which I don't.
Oh man, that was so great.
I'm not saying I've supported either political side, but that was just fucking hilarious that they had enough time to fucking track airplane position and shit like that to find this flagpole.
Oh yeah, using fucking contrails, like using contrails in the air
Right.
to like track flight paths and then look at fields and like realize which field would be the only likely field for it to be and then finding it and it's like what the fuck. And then he moved it and they found it again. And it's just like fucking Jesus Christ, right?
Like I don't care about the political aspect of it, just the fucking determination is hilarious.
I know. But, it's like oh my god.
But speaking of
It's
politics, I do have
I
do have something to bring up, and in order to get to that, we have to get to some weed news worldwide. So, in the news today, I do have some interesting news that is kind of regarding the results of the election.
Oh.
So, less than a week after the election day, in which voters in 5 states approved ballot measures to legalize marijuana, again, these are Mississippi, South Dakota, New Jersey, Arizona, and Montana. Since all of them had some form of approved legalization of marijuana, the top leader of the U.S., or a top leader of the U.S. House of Representatives, announced that the body will hold a floor vote on a bill to end federal cannabis prohibition next month.
Yeah, buddy, that's right, folks. We're talking the legalization on a federal level. They are talking about the end of cannabis prohibition in the United States of America.
On a federal level, that is correct. It is possible. It is looking like it is, at least getting some votes on the national level, on the federal level. So this will be considered the MORE Act, to decriminalize cannabis and expunge convictions for nonviolent cannabis offenses that have prevented many Americans from getting jobs, applying for credit and loans, and accessing opportunities that make it possible to get ahead in their economy. So,
see, I would love to be the guy that bill was named after, like just to if that was like the Shank resolution or whatever, it was like the resolution that
MORE
was
stands for
in history books.
MORE stands for Marijuana Opportunity Reinvestment and Expungement Act.
That's so great. That's so great. And you know what? That's fucking magnificent. Like, I think, so this is on a federal level. They are going to be expunging records for criminal situations with it. And they're also going to be making it federally legal in general with this bill, if it passes.
Now, if it does pass through the mainly Democratic-controlled House right now, it will have to go through the Senate, which is still unknown whether it will because of, it's evenly split right now, but I think it is kind of more Republican right now. But the majority leader, Mitch McConnell, who is a Republican from Kentucky, he is a champion for the hemp industry, but he staunchly opposes further marijuana reform. So,
Yeah, and I know I was reading something earlier today as well that even though cannabis is a bit of a partisan issue, it's one of those things where both parties have issues on both sides of the aisle about different things with it.
yeah, it's not so much.
It is one of those things that does have support though on
At
both
this
sides of the aisle.
Yeah,
It's
at
got
this point,
proponents
it's
for,
not really about the smoking or the effects or anything like that. It's more about the economic back toll and like the taxes, how much it will affect the economy, who should be running it, and adding all that stuff to it.
Well,
But
luckily for you, America likes to privatize industry, so it's one of those things where if cannabis does become legal on a federal level, it's probably going to be one of those things
It'll be
where
no
it won't be
problem.
like Canada, where it's government controlled. You'll have a bunch of private industry sector workers that will be immediately stepping in
oh yeah,
and filling in that niche market, filling in that market. That market will
they
be
absolutely, but they.
within a year, you're gonna have hundreds of thousands of job growth in America.
I think it
Like
will
it's
still
gonna be
follow.
amazing.
I think it'll still follow Canada's laws in terms of it has to be a part of a certain
certainly.
regulation, everything like that.
Oh,
It'll
yeah.
fall under some government
yeah, well, it's
category, or they'll create a new government category specifically to govern how it's going to be grown and stuff. But you're absolutely right. It's going to be taken
Yeah.
on by private growers. They're all going to grow their company locally, but also, you'll also see a couple new marijuana conglomerates and stuff like that grow up. So
Yeah,
it'll be
and
very
it'll
nice.
be like how it's like how we covered how they were building that new marijuana testing facility in one of the states there in one of our earlier episodes.
Oh yeah,
when we
the
first
New
started
York,
covering the news.
the New York
New
State
York.
Prison,
Yeah,
or it wasn't.
the orange is the new black. Yeah,
Yeah, the prison where they did
yeah,
the Orange is
in
the
the
New
prison
Black.
where they did the filming of that, or in the location where that prison was.
Right.
They're building that facility to test marijuana, and that's going to be the thing is if they legalize it, they're going to build a lot more of those facilities in a lot more places. And marijuana that gets sold in America will be tested in those facilities. That's specifically what they're for, is to ensure the quality and
Of course.
the safeness, the viability of the cannabis, right? So, I mean, if they pass this law, it'll be fantastic because, like we said, a lot of people will get their records expunged. But I actually have something very specific touching on that topic for one of my news stories. It's one that I don't really want to get into a lot of details about, but it's something I do think it's important to mention.
Now, just as a also heads up, the lead Senate sponsor of the MORE Act, guess who it is?
Oh, who is it?
Kamala Harris, our new vice presidential elect.
Hell yes,
So-
Kamala Harris. You know what? We don't like Curtis said. Like Curtis and I 100% agree with your stance. You should, as an American citizen, you should try to say you're as neutral as you can about politics. But frankly, dude, as someone from another country looking at America right now, when I look on the news, I see people dancing in the street and playing music and fucking celebrating and happy, and it's something I've missed seeing in America. I used to watch Mardi Gras parades and fucking 4th of July celebrations, and people would be smiling and happy and dancing and fucking having barbecues and feeding each other and shit and that kind of thing, and I haven't seen that for a while, and it's nice to see now. And I feel like Kamala Harris, her infectious personality when she gets up on stage and talks, because I've seen a few of her speeches, has something to do with the celebratory attitude of people. They're kind of yeah,
Well, it's all.
this lady's gonna be fucking pleasant.
I mean, on top of all of that, you gotta also remember that this is the first female vice president and the first black or African American or first female president of color.
Yeah.
Vice president of
Yeah,
color.
and Southeast Asian too, I think, and she's
Yep.
first generation immigrant too. So her parents immigrated to America, and she was
born in America.
They gave her an amazing life, and now she's fucking vice president elect of the United States of America. That's amazing.
Absolutely.
Incredible. And I agree that's very important to mention, the fact that she's sponsoring that, and I think that's going to put a lot of weight behind it.
Correct.
Politically, but
we'll have to see how that
if it
goes
does-
and see how the House
Yeah.
votes, and then see if it comes up on a national ballot next year, or if they just absolutely amend it through the government with no
Yep.
quarrel and just reform it. Marijuana prohibition.
Yeah, and so actually, and so if they do reform that, more people will be like this dude a lot sooner, hopefully. But after 32 years of being in prison, America's longest-serving non-violent cannabis prisoner is going to be released next month.
Oh yes.
So, yeah, his name is Richard DeLisi. He was sentenced to 3 consecutive terms of 30 years for a 1989 conviction for drug smuggling. So
90
he
years.
was 90 years. So we're talking consecutive. Like, so that means that after you serve one, then you serve the other one.
Right.
You know,
90
so
straight
he was,
years in prison.
yeah. So 90 years to prison. He was he's been in jail right now for 32 years. I don't want to go over the specifics of his life and his case and everything else because, frankly, it's super fucking depressing. But I do urge you guys to check out the link that's in the description below and check out what this dude has gone through and the fact that nobody should ever have to go through that again, which is why that bill needs to fucking pass, man. Like,
Absolutely.
nobody should ever serve jail time for, like, now if you're selling and shit like that, maybe they should look into why you feel the need economically to sell cannabis like illegally instead of doing it in a legal manner or through legal channels. They should fix that. You know, fix
Exactly.
that fucking system.
But
Don't throw people in a cell, you know?
just
But
90
he's
years,
out.
like, so
He's but
absolutely
but dude's
good.
getting out.
Congratulations
Awesome.
to this gentleman, and again, go look up his story because
Yeah, Richard DeLisi, link will be in the description below. Check out his story. It's fucking it is a bit bumming, so it'll bum you out, so make sure to smoke some really good like top-notch Euphoria sativa and like get yourself up there
yeah,
and give it a read, man. But it's worth the read, very important. And I just wanted to touch on that one because we were talking about the prohibition,
absolutely.
you know, like ending. And one of the cool things, that's a bad thing, like that he was in prison for so long. Hopefully that'll never happen again. And anybody who has been charged with any cannabis related, you know, anything, will have that completely expunged from the record, right?
Right.
But basically, on a good note of legalization, you know, on the positive side of things, because frankly, it's I don't want to leave that on a bummer. Like,
Right.
usually weed getting stolen, that's like kind of can be funny. Hashtag free homie lawn tractor,
Of course.
but basically, like that can be kind of comedic, but that his story is not that it's not funny. It's pretty serious, and I think it's worth looking into. But on a lighter note, in Canadian news, the government is because of legalization doing some pretty awesome stuff. You know that is,
What's
Curtis?
that? What are they doing?
They're going to be giving over $4 million to researchers in order to study making weed better.
Ooh.
Yeah. So essentially, they're like, okay, weed's legal now, and we've got a lot of money. So what should we do? And they just kind of go, hey, weed guys, make our weed better. Take my money.
Yay.
Yeah, it's incredible. So UBC, which is the University of British Columbia, is going to be receiving a $4.2 million federal, provincial, and industry funding to study enhanced cannabis cultivars. They're especially focusing on enhanced disease resistance, but I'm absolutely sure that they're going to be focusing on the potency of the cannabis as well.
That would be hilarious if
Um,
they're just making weed that specifically heals or cures COVID.
oh my god, yeah. Yeah, like they literally call it COVID-9, like spelt like NEIN teen.
Right.
And fucking like it's like some German German
How about
engineered strain with
how
like
about
Canadian
Chronic
cultivars
19?
like
Chronic 19.
oh my god, yes, chronic 19. Yeah, you smoke it and like the Rona's just gone. Like you start coughing from the Ronas and you're like, all right, take your inhaler and you take like huge fucking bong hoot.
It's a vape pen or a bong hit.
Yeah, like a bong hit. Yeah, so basically the money is going to be issued by Genome Canada, which is a non-profit organization funded by the federal government.
Nice.
In total, $15.4 million in federal funding is going to be going into 10 different genomics research projects that are going to be going on across the country.
Damn.
So they're focused on health, agriculture, and the environment, which means they're working on like sustainable farming, They're working on better cultivars for faster growing cycles, easier growing cycles,
and,
higher yield,
and better
that kind
results.
of thing, right? And better ultimate results, right? So they're so essentially one of the people involved in the project said the results of this project will benefit the Canadian cannabis industry and Canadian consumers, but also just basic and applied science. So doing this will help us understand cannabis better.
Right.
It's not just about understanding. It's kind of like early days when they first started making corn. Go from that hard, inedible, seedy, like pocket of like rocks essentially
Bitter
into
shit.
the edible food that we have now.
Right.
Like when people started kind of tweaking that and playing with that and making it a little bit better through growing it differently. Like now we've got the scientists sitting down and going, all right, what's the best way we can do that to make this plant the best plant it can be as a crop because
Simple.
we're not thinking about it anymore.
Here's what you do.
Yeah,
Here's the
we're
best
not-
way you can make it the best crop you possibly can. You take it, you turn it into those hard kernels, you smother it with salt and butter, and then you throw it into those bags that are then put into microwaves, and then you make popcorn.
That's not a bad idea.
Sprinkle some cheddar.
Yeah, popcorn.
Sprinkle
Oh
some.
my god, popcorn.
Yeah, sprinkle some fucking cheddar cheese, butter, and herb. Can of butter and herb.
Some CBD butter, some CBD butter, CBD garlic butter.
CBD garlic butter, some white cheddar, fucking flakes, some salt. Oh,
Dude, you know what?
Bros.
You could thinly slice some CBD beef to have as a side.
Jesus Christ. But seriously, bros, if you're out there, if you make some popcorn or some popcorn, make it, send it, fucking put it on our Instagram,
Yeah.
send it on our fucking
Yeah.
Facebook, whatever.
Tag us in it on Facebook, like whatever you gotta do. Like if you let us know about your popcorn adventures, like fucking let us
I
know
hope to-
because I am all ears.
I will hope.
I'm all ears like a cornfield.
Hopefully, in the future, I will definitely be trying to make a video on my
well-
attempt to make it. We'll see. We'll see if we.
Yeah, we'll both do our best to make some popcorn.
Exactly.
But that's magnificent. Yeah, so I'm thinking that project, if it comes to fruition, Canada once again is going to be getting its name out there as one of the premier like marijuana producers worldwide. Because I mean, we already do have some places in Canada that are well known and well renowned for our marijuana,
Absolutely.
and its quality.
But
Like this, the fact that we've got Canadian scientists sitting down and slapping their heads against a table to figure out how they can grow the most magnificent Canadian weed on the planet. I'm excited, man. There's nothing
Absolutely.
bad can come out of that project.
it's very good, and I'm so glad that you guys are having the investors who are able to do that. But that kind of brings me to our
man,
next
like,
story.
There's a lot of money in.
That brings me.
There's a lot of money in that
Yeah,
industry.
but it brings me to my next story. So I know of a couple other people who are invested in the cannabis industry.
Oh, some more money in the pot.
Exactly. But I'm tisk. And these people happen to be some celebrities that we may or may not be familiar with.
Oh. Oh
So 7 celebrities who are invested in the cannabis industry. I'm finding this post on leafly.com. You can check the links in the description, as well as the links for all of the news stories we've covered today.
Big truth.
So, yeah, there's a couple people who have gotten into the marijuana business. You know, obviously we have people like Seth Rogen having his
Yep.
what is it? Houseplant is his
Yeah.
company.
Yeah, something like that.
Yep, his brand is Houseplant.
I think we've talked about him in the past for being
It's gained
a
some-
big proponent in the cannabis
Oh yeah,
industry.
it's gained some popularity in Canada, so Shank should be able to get a hold of some at some point.
Oh, hell yeah.
We've already talked before about Martha Stewart getting into the CBD business, and
Yeah.
obviously her best friend being Snoop Dogg. Fucking,
Yeah, that writes itself.
it writes itself, of course. A couple people who wouldn't really expect. Montel Williams, Monty.
Money.
Yep,
What?
yep. He has his own strain. It's
That's magnificent.
Lenitive.
Lenitive.
Exactly. It's a premium hemp and CBD brand. And he also has other stuff that has good access to his brand is a way of helping give patients and adult users access to safe CBD and THC. So it looks like he's going to be branching out a little bit further into the THC market soon.
Nice.
Of
Well, if that federal vote goes through,
course.
Gonna be big industry.
Next one we have here is Trees by Game. The Game, obviously, being
Oh,
a
nice.
famous
he was
American.
D12.
Yep, from D12, famous American rapper.
Yeah.
But he's got his own brand.
Homies with them.
It's a California-based brand, and it's curated connection to the hip hop. So
Cool.
very nice, very good strains there. We also have Gwyneth Paltrow. Obviously, I'm not gonna say too much about her, but we know that she gets into some crazy ventures. So she's investing a little bit into some THC-infused beverage company.
That's cool.
Exactly.
That's put your money there. That's good.
Exactly. But then there's also a couple unexpected people on here as well. Margaret Cho,
Yeah.
famous
Margaret Cho.
exactly, comedian, actress, fashion designer, singer-songwriter, and rescue dog mom.
Yeah.
She's also
Yeah.
a cannapreneur of her own cannabis strain,
Well,
Margaret
that's-
Cho G,
Yeah, that's cool. That's
which is
cool.
pretty fucking hilarious.
Lit name. I would love to have a strain named after me. It would be a fucking honor.
Absolutely. What would your strain name be? Just Shank OG or
Sweet Island Shank. No, I honestly, I'd have to go with actually my full stage name, is William Napoleon Shank, right?
okay,
Because Napoleon was my great grandfather's name.
okay.
Like my great grandfather. So I would probably go with something like Nappy OG or Napoleon OG, something like that.
Nice.
Just because like it would be like just I would honor my great grandfather because I'm sure that he liked to smoke weed. It was totally illegal back then, but it was war. You do what you need to do.
Very
But
nice.
yeah, no, and also it would honor my stage name and my full stage name. But Shank is that's what my friends call me and my buds call me. So yeah. Yeah, so that I'd probably be Napoleon OG or something like that. And if that already exists, then probably just like Shank Kush,
Nice.
because it would definitely be a Kush strain of some kind, for sure.
Hell yeah.
It would need to be a heady Kush. Yeah, something like
Very nice,
a
very
heady
nice.
Kush. Yeah, what about you? What would your strain be called?
Gypsy Dick.
Gypsy Dip. Fuck yes.
Don't ask why.
Nope.
So,
Don't need any questions.
but we have one celebrity left on our list right here that I wanted to get to real quick, and this is the
All right,
one that
who's
is
that?
most unexpected to me.
Hmm?
This is interesting, but investing over $1 million into a Nevada company called Digipath, which is a cannabis testing and education company, is the creator of Law and Order, Dick Wolf. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum.
Dude, that's insane. Like that's fucking crazy. So Dick
Wait a minute,
Wolf,
wait,
like
wait,
the
wait,
Dick
wait.
Wolf.
Hey, hold up.
All right, hold up. Wait, we're holding.
Okay.
All right, perfect. No, that's magnificent, man. So the Dick Wolf is dude. That's like what again. That touches back on that other story we were just talking about a minute ago, where there was the testing facility that they're opening up, right? Like, he is smart to get in that industry because that is going to be a middleman industry. Like, because the American government loves their middleman industries. Like, because you got like restaurants, right?
Of course.
But then you got suppliers. But then the suppliers have like distributors. Like, and then they've got like all these like webs of like people who like supervise other people who supervise other people who get shit done.
Amas.
You know? Yeah. So like those facilities before it gets to market, if you are a grower, your weed needs to go through one of those testing facilities before it's going to be able to go to market.
Absolutely.
So people who own those facilities are going to be making bank.
For sure. For sure.
Like, so that's smart. So Dick Wolf invested in, you know what, and that's cool because like on his show, you know, I'm sure with the amount, like I mean, he's got it's Ice-T, right? It's on that show.
He's on Special Victims Unit, I believe.
Yeah, SVU with Mariska Hargitay.
E.
She is one of the coolest names in the world.
Yes.
But yeah, like I think that celebrities taking their money and reinvesting it into an industry that's going to be good for the overall country and for like not just the country but the world in general, if this industry grows larger,
It's always good.
then
And should always be welcomed.
yeah, like the net gain from cannabis is exponentially larger than the net loss.
Look at drug dealers.
so-
They were able to make fucking families and gangs and shit on this stuff.
Big truth. Big truth. Like cartels were fucking raised from it, you know? Like that cartel money could be going into like and that's the thing is a lot of people get pissed off about having to pay taxes on weed, right? Once it gets legalized. But I'm okay with that because that tax money goes to my country and makes my country better.
Absolutely.
Like and I mean like granted, yeah, sometimes it's a little bit high and I certainly think that the higher income people should be taxed a little bit more.
But I have a
or
nice clean
lot of it
road.
more.
I have a nice clean road that I can drive on to drive and go grab that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and not to mention, like, I have like a government sponsored like institute like area store that I can go into that always has cannabis stock like
Right.
all the time.
And
You know, and that taxes help pay for that too.
not to mention your
So, you know,
taxes
like-
are helping pay for your fucking better weed initiative that you were just talking about.
Yes, exactly. So like that's what I mean. So overall, it's a good thing, man. Like it's a fucking great situation where like taxes, yeah, they suck. Nobody likes taking money that you earn or that you work for and paying it out for miscellaneous different shit that you feel like you should be able to do.
The
just
tax
because
isn't
you're an animal and
the thing
animals
is
can pee
that-
on trees if they want to.
The thing is, the tax isn't the problem. It's when they overcharge for the weed. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem because like it's
$75
like our-
for
our
an
government-
aider is ridiculous.
Like our government had a fuck up when weed first got legalized here in Canada. Luckily, it sorted itself out over time. But they agreed to a contract essentially, right, with a grower in another province, that they were going to buy X amount of weed. So say like 1,000,000 grams, right?
Right.
At $10 a gram. So they agreed to purchase it wholesale at $10 a gram.
Well then.
So yeah, which clearly anybody listening to this podcast right now knows that them's be skate park prices for 1 year, you know, like for oneers.
Right.
You know, that's not bulk prices. You know, like that's not like you're getting kilos, like or you know, you're not getting 1,000,000 fucking grams for $10 a gram. You know, like so they made a really bad deal and it really ultimately reflected the prices when it came into stores, but they did lower it down and actually take a loss on it initially so that they would be able to fix it. And now it's back on track. They've got substantially more reasonable prices. They actually have a varied price system, so if you want to go in and buy a $9 gram, you can buy a $9 gram.
Nice.
Or if you want to go in and buy like a $15 fucking tailor-made, like custom premium fucking high quality, oh my god, my testicles are melting from how delicious this is type of nug, you can do that too.
Of course.
So it's cool, right? Like it gives you option and it's like going into the liquor store. It's like going into any store where there should be
Selection.
a choice for adults. Yeah, it's a selection. You go in and go, what do I want today, right? And I've dipped in, as our listeners know, I've dipped into a lot of the sativas that they offer regularly at
Right.
the store that I go to. I haven't even touched the indica list yet, which is just as large. And I also haven't gotten to nearly all of the sativas that are available there. So I'm going to be able to go in there for a long period of time. And as I go in there, by the time I catch up to remotely what they've got, they'll have swapped out the strains for a new strain. So I'll be able to try something different. So I essentially, as it stands, I have an unlimited supply of strains that I can just try, which is why doing this podcast with you is a fantastic idea because I'm pretty sure you've got a
I'm
somewhat similar situation.
in basically the similar situation, and as it's getting more and more progressive here, it's just going to be more and more strains and more quality, more and more different types that I'm able to try. And then hopefully at some point international trade or something like that is opened up where I'm able to get Canadian pot and you're able to get American pot, and then we can swap strains that
Oh,
we've
no.
already tried.
Oh, it's gonna be so great, man. It's gonna be so great. Like, and not only that, but I mean, like, once the whole Rona thing is up and up and lifted, and the travel restrictions are gone and stuff like that, we'll be organizing some visits, and there may be in the future of this podcast, there will be live podcasts with us in the same room with one another.
Right.
Obviously due to Ronas. And due to distance, and due to the fact that not enough of you have gone and checked out the link in the description below that leads you to our Patreon and donated kindly out of the kindness of your heart, we don't have the finances to do that either.
Exactly.
But with your donations and your likes and your subscription to our pages and stuff like that,
just your support in general. Eventually. If you share
this, your support in general, you don't need money.
If you don't,
like, just sharing.
If you do not feel like you want to donate to us, the least you can do is share and like our page so that other people can see it and other people may who want to, and then we're able to fucking do way more in the future. But if you feel like it,
the man speaks true words.
But if you feel like it still, go ahead, check down the link, Patreon.
Yeah, you can donate. Reward tiers are there. You can see what they all are, and they're pretty nifty. I think they're kind of cool, so you can check them out.
Exactly, we compensate.
Yeah, it's good, man. So and that's what I mean. Like, we like once the borders are open and the travel is, we'll be able to like just all go down and visit. And when I'm down there, like it's perfectly legal for me to smoke weed when I'm in that state, as long as I'm over legal age and everything else.
Of course.
And I entered the country legally and stuff. I just can't take any.
Right.
I can't take any there with me, which I will not, for the record. If any agencies are listening to this podcast, first and foremost, thank you for listening. I really appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, all that.
Tell everyone in your department.
Yeah, tell all the people in your department to come and check us out. But, like, I don't intend to bring any with me when I go down there, because that's not legal to do. But when I'm down there, if I want to smoke weed with him, like, that's fully legal because it's legal down there. And when he comes up here, same deal. You can't bring any with him, but once he gets here, he doesn't need to worry about that.
Exactly.
So, like, so it'll be fine. Like, yeah, so we'll be all right. So we'll figure that out, and that'll definitely be in the future once the whole Ronaverse is over, or at least changed.
Hopefully.
And it changed enough for us.
Hopefully soon. Hopefully. But in the meantime, we're getting kind of short on time. So, Shank, how are you feeling?
I feel pretty good, man. Honestly, I think the description that other people gave in the reviews online was pretty goddamn accurate. It's a very euphoric, very uplifting kind of high. Fairly focused. I'm not having a hard time keeping my mind on track with things and keeping my brain, targeted where I want it to be targeted. And I'm feeling overall very good.
Very nice.
Obviously quite chatty, as the people can tell, but it's it's good. Like, I'm always chatty when I'm on here with you, man, because like you said before, we're buds and I like talking to my buds, so it's just the way it is. But yeah, man, so how's yours making you feel today?
I gotta say, it's pretty much same. I'm feeling that nice, happy, euphoric, pretty clear-headed, so I don't feel like I'm much, mumbling a whole lot of my words, and as I say that, I start mumbling my words.
No more than usual.
Exactly. But yeah, the stress and the pain relief is definitely a good feel. I get a slight bit of the dry mouth. The eyes, I'm not really feeling too much, which is nice. But overall, nice, pretty good strain. And like we said before, that is Pineapple Rec that I'm smoking.
And I am smoking the Sweet Island Skunk. Which is mine was grown by San Rafael, but like I said before, many companies in many different places produce this, and I'm interested if you guys have Sweet Island Skunk from a different source. Tell me how it is. Like, compare your strain and your experience to ours.
Same with mine. I got mine from Dubers, grown in Detroit. So if you like yours, or you can get a different strain from a different company or whatever, go ahead and send us some photos, or just send us comments on what strain we should try out for our next episodes.
Hell yeah, we're always interested in any feedback that the community has for us, and we love, talking with you guys as much as we love talking to, the general internet, the air and the darkness as it is.
Exactly.
But we really like it. And honestly, like, if you let us know what strains you've got or what strains you prefer, we'll see if we can get our hands on them, and that'd be a lot of fun, I think.
For sure. Before we head on out, I got one more bong packed right here.
Yeah, actually today I also have another bong packed right here as well.
All right. Then, I believe you guys know what time it is. Let's blaze it one last time. Lighters out. Tokes kabokes.
Lighters out. Woo.
Oh,
All right.
very nice. Still
Good hits,
solid.
brother.
Still solid.
Good hits.
Good
Yeah.
hits all around. But I think
Oh,
we're getting a
beauty.
little low on time here, so it's time we roll one for the road. Have a good one, bros. Thanks for tuning in, and we hopefully will see you in the next episode.
Yeah, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and scream about this at the top of your lungs in space where nobody can hear you anyway, except for the person who's at NASA listening on the comms, like down below, like, hey bro, I can't really do anything about it.
Houston, we have a
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, just let everybody know about the podcast, and we really appreciate you guys.
Exactly. Have a good one, bros. Later.
Later, buds.